This is a review of the AboveTEK USB power meter. It's a USB measuring device that will measure the voltage and current being passed through it to charge your devices. It's an excellent way to check the performance of AC wall chargers, battery packs, or even the original charger that you received with your product. You can even use it to check your car charger. The beauty of this unit is that it has two displays, one for voltage and one for current, and they're both different colors. The voltage is 4.95 volts, and it's in red, and the current's in blue, and right now it's measuring 0 amps because I have nothing plugged in. It has the capability of measuring voltage from 3 to 10 volts and current from 0 to 3 amps. So it can be used to check everything from charging your smartphone to your Android devices or to your high-power tablets like your Android tablets and iPad tablets. Accuracy is rated plus or minus 1%. I've compared it to another current meter that I have, and I've also checked the voltage output on the port, and it's very accurate. The device here has two output ports, output port 1 and output number 2. Output port 1 is dedicated for use for data sync cables and charging, and output 2 has a built-in circuit for accelerated large current fast charging. I believe that circuitry is designed for the Samsung devices and some Android devices that short two terminals together, which allows the device to charge faster because it thinks it's in an AC wall charger mode. What I like about this device is that because these are LED displays, they're backlit. They're easy to read in the dark, and they're easy to read in the daylight. Sometimes I've had some of these units that are liquid crystal displays. They're almost impossible to see in a dark area. And if you have this short cable here, you may be behind a computer trying to plug into a USB port. I like it being lit so it's more visible. That's a nice feature. I want to point out here that I have two units side by side. This is the one we're reviewing, and you can see it's visible in the dark because it's lit up. This is an LCD display. It's not backlit or lit up. So this is the one that can be hard to read sometimes if you're behind a computer. They're both reading voltage with no current because nothing's plugged into them. And they're both reading 5.02 volts and 4.95 volts. And those are the readings that we're looking at. As a comparison, the deviation between these two is 7/100ths of a volt. That's just slightly over a 1% differential. You can see I have a lightning cable plugged in. I'm going to plug it into this phone. You'll see it start to charge. You heard the phone beep and it turns green. And you can see that the phone is drawing 0.57 amps at 4.9 volts out of this AC wall charger. So this is a good way to check the performance. This phone is not drawing 1 amp because, as you can see, it's at 95%. And the fuller the phone battery is, the less current it draws because it tries to limit the current to prevent overheating and overcharging. See, I have a Apple 30-pin connector. I just plugged into a iPad 2. You can see it's drawing 0.75 amps at 4.89 volts. Now I've unplugged the adapter from port 1. I'm going to plug it in port 2, and you can see it's drawing 0.72 amps. It's actually drawing less current on port 2 than it is on port 1. That validates my assumption that the charging current is boosted here for Android devices. After using this device and testing it and comparing it to another one that I have, I found it to be extremely accurate and easy to use. I love the dual color display. This is an excellent troubleshooting tool. If you're trying to find out if your USB wall charger is working or a battery pack that you have is still working, or if you're trying to find out why your device isn't charging, or even if your USB port on your computer is working. I actually have one that's shorted out after excessive use, so this kind of troubleshooting tool is very nice to use to try to determine what the problem is. I like this product a lot. It's got a good price on it. It's got good quality. I love the dual color display. I rate this as a 5-star item. This review is done by jjceo. I'd like to tell you that I received a sample for test and evaluation, and I only promise that if I did a review, it would be a fair and honest one.